Welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. Second trading day of the week. A lot going on. It's a crazy week. Tomorrow we have the FOMC statement coming out at 2 o'clock EST. That's going to contain the decision on interest rates. And then at 2:30 we have Powell talking. So a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure, but I think I saw Biden might be speaking tomorrow at some point. Somebody confirm or deny that in the chat, but I feel like I saw that on Twitter, but it's Twitter. So yeah, what's up? Dave, Josh, KLF, the guy, Seth, Zeke, Plebere, Neutron, Eric, Chetta, Steven, Nerve, how you all doing? So let's get started. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. Then we're going to talk about some other markets, and we'll talk about stocks, the overall market, my thoughts on the market. You had a huge bounce back day today, like a huge bounce back day. The SPY closed up 2%, QQQ closed up 3%. A lot of individual names had great days as well, so we're going to talk about all of that, and let's get into it. We're going to start off with Bitcoin. Still nothing, still just going sideways. So if you want Bitcoin now, so let's go back to last night's stream. I mean, it's just the same thing. You've just been going sideways for about like 11 days now, apart from the regulation news and sell-off and whatnot. You've literally just been going sideways. Bitcoin's like pretty much like broken right now. Like, I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know if broken is the right word to use, but it's looking like a stable coin in the last couple of weeks. So we're just waiting for this to break under 33K or above 45.7K, hopefully above 45 first. But it's just in a range for right now. You have, pretty much 2 taps on the bottom of your range and 2 on the top. Looks something like this. So that's really all Bitcoin is doing right now. Ethereum, the same thing here. Still in your triangle. I feel like a broken record talking about these every single night, but the comps operator will test your patience. Your patience will be tested to either direction. We don't know if these are going to break up or down, but to either direction, the bears and the bulls, the patience is being tested right now. So it'll take time. We will see which way they break. Until then, that's literally it. Oil pulled back even further today. So there you go. We talked about how it was breaking down on this exact day with the bearish engulfing candle. And it's pretty much been selling off since then. I talked about how it was overbought on the RSI in those areas, and you're selling off. You actually also broke under this level, 97.92. Let's see what that dates back to. A bunch of highs and lows from the past. So you actually broke under another level today. The next level I'm seeing here is about 85, unless you can reclaim back above 98. So reclaim back above 98 or 85.50 could be next. And that's really it. There's not much I can do apart from levels. Of course, you could use fibs, and more importantly, just keep up with all the news. Let's see what gold did today. Same thing, pulling back further, and it is pretty much like right now testing the support. Like when we were up here, I was telling you all, 1, to look for a potential cup and handle on a pullback, and then 2, that 1921 was your next support. Once you started selling off after that bearish engulfing candle, it's been a straight journey down to your next support, and now you're at it. So you're testing it. If you break this, and your next level is 1872. If you can bounce off of it, maybe some resistance around 1958 from these highs over here. But it's not easy to really call this a handle when you're just kind of going straight down. You would have hoped for something like this. But hopefully you can start doing that a little bit later. We'll see. So that's really it for gold. The dollar went sideways today. I think silver pulled back further as well. So yeah, silver continuing its pullback. Still kind of back testing its resistance that it recently broke above. We'll see what happens. I think it's just back testing for right now, so hopefully it can just hold it kind of a bullish pin bar today pretty much. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Russian market still halted, and the Hang Seng Index is absolutely dumping. It actually perfectly tapped the support that I believe I drew last night on the stream, which is 18,264. Which dates back to this low over here from 2016. So like perfectly tapped that pretty much. And it just bounced a little bit off of that. But this has been going straight down since February 18th. So, I mean, since the 18th, it's down over 25%, which is just crazy. And that's really it. for the other indices. Let's talk about the overall market right now. First thing I want to say though, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you turn on the notification bell. Like until I like put out a tweet or like I ping everybody in the Discord, there's like 2 people in the stream, which means most of you, or almost 4,000 of you, don't really have your notifications on. So hit the bell while you hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, go and make sure you hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you can get notified, because it's a pain having to go on Twitter and Discord every single time I go live. So hopefully one day I could just click on the live button and start talking. But yeah, so hit the like button if you've been enjoying the streams. Let's talk about my thoughts on the market. And I'm going to talk about, like, I mean, I guess we could just get it over with. I have no clue what FOMC is going to be like tomorrow. And more importantly, I have no clue how the market is going to react to FOMC. So we'll see what happens. I have an open mind. I'm fine with either direction, to be honest. I always would prefer up, but, you know, at this point, I'm not trying to say who cares, but like, at this point, there's money to be made on both sides. So it's not like you need it to be one direction or the other. You know, if you're long-term going down, if the market continues to go down, that could be good for long-term holders because it could help you add to positions that you like. The market going up could mean profits for long-term holders in the short term. And then, you know, if you're a day trader or whatever, I mean, up, down, sideways, you could profit off of any of those variables. So where are we now? Pretty much just going sideways on higher time frames. Like if I were to just delete all this, I just clicked the wrong thing. If I were to delete all of this, I mean, you can just see the last last pretty much 7 days, you've just been going sideways. You've been in between 415 and 432, which is 4% range for the last week or so. And 4% is still a lot. You're still seeing a lot of volatility within this range. 4% is still a very big amount, but compared to what we were doing earlier, you know, seeing 10% drops in 2 weeks, like, you know, it's definitely a little bit cooled down. So you're just going sideways overall on higher time frames. You're just testing support, this little zone over here. You're just continuing to test it. And that's really it. I mean, at this point, like, this zone's not really being respected all too well, but I still like to keep it charted because it is still your neckline of the head and shoulders. So it's just a big tug of war, the bulls and the bears fighting over whether or not this head and shoulders is going to break down or you're going to reclaim the support and start going back up. So that's really it on the higher time frames. I wouldn't call this divergence on the SPY because you made a higher low. But you certainly do have triple classic bullish divergence on the QQQ because you made a lower low. So you do have the potential for that. And you can see this is actually holding support pretty well. I drew this 316 support probably like a few days ago. And, you know, it's holding like 317. But in general, it's holding, if you remember, if you've been watching streams, I drew like this little box here. And it's been holding that area for a while. This is pretty much like the 4th time. QQQ is bouncing off the same level. That's one thing that's really interesting to me. The SPY is still, I don't know, the SPY just looks a lot more 50-50 to me, but the QQQ is starting to look a lot better to me, which is a little bit interesting. So right now, I think the QQQ looks far better than the SPY. Even the 4 hour, you have some nice triple classic bullish divergence. You have this clean wedge. You could also draw a wedge on the SPY, but I think as long as the QQQ holds above 316, it looks pretty good to me here. You're trying to double bottom and all that good stuff. So those are like your higher time frames on the SPY and the QQQ. Going into tomorrow, I think one clear way to just view the market in general is a breakout of this zone in either direction could lead to a larger move. So, you know, above like 432, which would be a little bit over 1% move, or below your lows at 414, which would be about a 2-3% drop. You know, that's going to be a break up or break down in the short term for the SPY. And then the Russell is still within its range between 188 and 205, so really nothing to update on the Russell 2000. If it gets above 205, that's a good breakout. If it gets below 188, that's a breakdown. And the ARK ETF was up 4% today. And if you watched last night's stream, I spent a decent amount of time talking about the ARK and how I was liking it down in these areas, and now you're starting to see a little bit of a bounce. We'll see. You know, it's literally one day. I mean, if we zoom out, it literally looks like nothing. So we'll see if it can have more than 1 day. But it is still around these areas of the bullish bat. Right now, I mean, you're only 2 days into the week, so I really wouldn't place too much importance on the weekly candle. And the NASDAQ was up 3% today, finding support around 12.6K. and it's testing, or pretty much tested, a resistance around 13K pretty much from your lows over here and over here. So yeah, that's really the easy way to view the market as a whole. We can go down to some lower time frames and talk about that. The QQQ, I'd probably just look at it like this. Like that. It's, you know, it looks like it's starting to create a little bit of a wedge. This could take a while to play out, but yeah, I'd probably look like this. And you know, if this area was a little bit higher, it could have been an inverse head and shoulders, but you have two perfect lows, so it can't be. But the SPY on the 1 hour bounced off of this demand line. I did send this in the Discord, the link is in the description. So you got a nice bounce off that demand line for the SPY, but now it's kind of back toward the middle of the triangle. And then the QQQ, nice little like triple bottom pretty much, and we have classic bullish divergence playing out. But on even lower time frames, we pretty much just went up the whole entire day, apart from like noon until 2 o'clock. I mean, this felt like a typical like 2021 like bull market day. Like you rip in the morning, you kind of, everybody goes out to lunch to celebrate, so people are just kind of taking some profits intraday, and then you just rip into the close. Like, you know, those are like the classic days in the bull market. That's just kind of how it felt today. And we used to definitely take a lot of those days for granted, but you were up 3% on the QQQ today. And yeah, you pretty much developed like this cup and handle intraday, and it actually broke out into the close. I did share these as they were developing. So I was sharing this, I mean, this was at 243. I was sharing it when it was in the handle part, and then you can see after that it went up like another 1% in the last hour of the day. So nice moves there. You did break out into the close, so you do have some breakouts going into tomorrow morning, but you already ran after your breakouts, and you have FOMC tomorrow. So you know, low time frame technicals probably don't mean much until we see how, you know, at least the first like few candles look like in the morning. But you do have some resistance on the SPY. This is where you topped out twice last week. So, you know, this is where you bought, like, I think it was, I don't know, was this the week before? Like 2 weeks ago, you bottomed twice at this level, and then last week you topped out twice at this level, and now you're approaching this level again, really 427 to 429. We'll see how the SPY reacts to that level. Have you go in cheddar freeze. So that's really what you're looking at on lower time frames going into tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see what happens with the FOMC tomorrow morning. I'm going to be doing Twitter Spaces with Keanu Trades, so just follow me on Twitter and you'll be able to see the spaces. I don't know if spaces have links or not, but I'll try and ping you all in the Discord. And today we did in fact have my live feed, so I was on the microphone from probably like 10 a.m. to like 12:30, I think, and I was answering questions. You know, some people were asking me to like look at certain charts throughout the day. I was giving like my intraday market analysis. I was sharing my screen for like the first half of it, and then the second half I was just kind of mic only, and I was breaking down the 3 different alerts I put out in premium today for all of you, because we currently have a free trial for premium, so anybody could have seen these. And I shared 3 different ones. They all played out nicely, and great timing on that tip. You can't make that stuff up.
Premium alerts saved my day.
So there you go, Nerve. Day 1 in the stream saying premium alerts saved my day. Glad to hear that. Thank you for the $10. Let's get some vibes in the chat for the tip. So yeah, and the crazy part, I'm gonna break down all these trades in a second here, but the crazy part was, I told you all last night, we're opening up premium for a week, and all you have to do is join the Discord, links in the description, and then head to this overview channel and then click this. So 76 of you are currently on a free trial in premium, and you got all of these alerts today, and you also got a new swing today. I'm not gonna even look at the swing on stream. If you want to see the swing and like zoom in and whatnot, sign up for the free trial and go take a look at it. And I also shared a swing which we are going to talk about outside of premium, which is PENN. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. So yeah, I guess we'll come back to the day trades in a little bit, and I'll break down all of that. But right now we're going to talk about the swings and some other tickers. So we're going to start off with the new swing, which I was just talking about, which is PENN. So I mean, I put out a message in the Discord earlier today. It is just crazy to me how many charts, like pretty much since like the COVID crash until now, are pretty much just harmonics. Like literally from the low, you pretty much have like your X point, then you had a rally, then you pull back, you know, whenever it was, and then you made a higher high, and then you sold off 70-80% of the way back down. PENN's not the greatest of an example, but like we take a look at something like Zoom or like DraftKings, like take a look at this. Like literally from your COVID crash lows, you created an M-shaped pattern. Zoom is another good example. It's just crazy, and you could find the same exact charts for so many different assets or setups on charts. Like it just goes to show like how real these technicals are. I mean, we're talking about technical patterns that took 700 or 600 to 800 days to be completed, and they played out. Another great one, which I've talked about multiple times on stream, is AMC, right? With all the crazy squeeze of last year and then the run it had last fall, it all turned into one huge harmonic. So it's just crazy to see these things pop up time and time and time again. And these are the largest harmonics I've ever seen since I've started trading, actually. They're even larger than the harmonics I was seeing on Bitcoin back in like the beginning of 2020, which I know Mitch Ray was talking about back then. And those obviously sent it to the moon eventually. So these are literally I've probably been charting for like 3 years or 2.5, whatever it is. And I don't have enough time in the markets to have seen patterns this big. I mean, these are insanely large patterns. So we'll see if they play out. And of course, not all of them are going to play out, but even if half of them play out, you can make so much money. The only thing is most people don't care about the market right now, or at least they're turning their eye the other way and maybe just bag holding stuff. So it just kind of feels like a lot of people are not really, a lot of people are a lot more excited up here for the wrong reasons. And now a lot of people like just don't care about stocks when they've sold off, 70-80% of the way. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. It just feels like everybody's doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do. Apparently you're supposed to buy low and sell high. Watch the course, links in the description, but that's what's going on pretty much. So we were talking about PENN originally, and yeah, what's up here? I mean, wow. Okay, so first off, it's back testing its pre-COVID highs as support. You can see it was a high over here in February of 2020, a high over here, and it was your support on January 24th, and it was like your support last week and this week. So you have this little support zone, and that's pretty much also allowing for a double bottom at the PCZ of this bullish shark. Okay, this is all happening towards the supply line of a falling wedge, right? So I know there's a lot on my chart, but we can just look at this. You can see it's testing this little breakout area. So you have that as well. You have hidden bullish divergence developing on the daily, and then on the weekly, you already have confirmed classic bullish divergence on the weekly, and you can see that support zone a lot clearer over here. So you have a lot of different things going on. Of course, do your fundamental analysis. This could take a long time. The targets are pretty aggressive. So yeah, if the third target hits on PENN, that's a 73 or 77, 78% gain. So I targeted this first resistance over here, this previous support area, and then this resistance from over here. So those are my three targets, and the stop. Just put it comfortably under your lows from January 24th. So that's the new swing on PENN and the explanation. In terms of the other swings, Facebook was up 3% today, still around the stop of the swing, but I did talk about this potential dragon pattern. And Facebook is pretty much testing a breakout right now. You can see this on all the time frames. First off, before we can get to that, nice bullish hammer on the daily. But let's go down to lower time frames. Oh my gosh, wow, hold up. So you can see this double bottom that's being attempted right now. But look at this, you have a bullish engulf, pretty much like a tweezer bottom bullish engulfing formation on the 4-hour, a daily hammer candle testing your supply line, and you can see a lot clearer on the 1-hour, it might already be breaking out. So Facebook is one of my main watches for just in general. The rest of this week, the rest of next week, the week after that, this is going to be one of the first stocks to look at in the morning when we're doing live trading Keanu trades. So I'll see which way it looks like it's heading to, but I mean, it's been in this pattern. I've showed this pattern multiple times on streams, on the stream for like the past month. This is a month-long pattern. Okay, the longer the patterns, typically the longer the moves, and it's just now trying a breakout. It's tried a couple breakouts before. We'll see if this one can hold. First stop you could potentially have is this gap fill at 198. And then, if I were to be like, even if I was like, forget like the crazy huge bullish cipher that took like 2 years to complete, and this is another great example of a harmonic that developed off the COVID crash low until now. Like, thank you for the 23 people watching the stream. You have like literally like 78-88% retraces on a 2-year long bull run, and then you just dumped on so many different assets. Like, I just want to see how these all play out, because if these do play out the way that they could play out, and they hit A and C targets eventually, you're gonna have so many people foaming into the markets over here, and then they're gonna be getting destroyed when you pull back down. But just keep a very close eye on Facebook at $192 on March 15th of 2022. Just keep a very close eye on it, okay? There's no certainty that this is the bottom, but this is certainly a low risk, potentially high reward area for a trader who uses a stop loss, okay? And the stop loss, if you watch the streams, you know exactly where stock could be. And honestly, it's just kind of like tagging the stop over here. It's never really closed under it, but like genuinely, I might actually like lower the stop a little bit to give it a little bit more breathing room, because it's still just kind of trying to bounce exactly off of that level. So I don't know. Keep an eye on Facebook. Another one is SDC, nice bullish engulfing candle today. This one is also double bottoming after falling more than 100% of its initial COVID crash run. How do I even put that? Like you dumped for the COVID crash, you ran in the bull market after the COVID crash, and this has actually fallen even lower than the low of the COVID crash, right? It broke its COVID crash lows and it broke out of a falling wedge. It's double bottoming at the P to Z of a 2-year long harmonic. Why are all of these stocks showing the same exact types of patterns at the same exact time when there is an insane amount of fear in the market? I don't know. Actually, I do, and we'll see what happens. So those are the swings pretty much. Depending on how FOMC goes tomorrow, there might be a handful, a new amount of swings. And the one thing I will say though, with everything I am saying, that's still interesting to me is a lot of individual names look a lot better to me than the indices look to me. You know, like a lot of these types of names, like the small caps and mid caps that are showing harmonics and some sort of consolidation, and they're not just like falling knives. They look a lot better to me than something like the SPY or the QQQ, because we're talking about assets, right? We're talking about assets that pretty much did this, okay? This is what we're talking about, okay? Assets, this is your COVID crash low. You had your crazy run, you pulled back this. We're talking about assets that already did this. We're not talking about something that did just what the SPY is doing right now. We're talking about assets that did all of this part too. That's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on things that look like, they just started pulling back in the beginning of 2022. I'm talking about ones that topped out last spring and were selling off all of 2021 while the S&P ran higher and higher. You know those names. We've talked about them so many times. But everybody always asks, where's the opportunity? Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Like, those are the assets that are giving opportunity in my opinion. And it's not a certainty, but that's your opportunity. There's no certain reward, but it's an opportunity. So those are the swings. In terms of some other names, Tesla was up 5% today. A lot of analysis went down. I mean, I started doing the live feed this morning at 10 a.m. and there was, I think, about 30 people in there. If you were in there, I mean, just golden nuggets were dropped this morning. I know Mike from TTG always says that. But in this channel right over here, which anybody could have joined with the free trial, which you join by just clicking this. I mean, I was looking through the whole entire overall market. The first like half an hour was a bit confusing for me, but then we just started seeing so many different charts playing out. Like, I alerted 3 different charts, but I also shared a bunch more that played out beautifully. For an example, like something like DraftKings, you know, I shared this in the chat when it was at like 16, but I was probably showing this in the live feed when it was at like the low of the day. And this one had a nice little wedge breakout into the close. Apple, I know this went higher after breaking out. These are all low time frame charts. Same thing for MU. It was up like 1.5% when I was showing MU to everybody in the live feed, and MU closed up 5%. Just really, really good intraday moves. So I'm going to be doing another live feed that you should join on Thursday, or join the live trading tomorrow on Twitter Spaces. And AMD as well. I was even looking at GameStop in the morning. That one had a nice run. It was up like 1 or 2% when I was looking at it. It went up like, I think it closed up like 5%. We were looking at a bunch. Even CLOV. This was the one I missed today. CLOV. If you were in the live feed, I told you all right over here that CLOV was breaking out and that there wasn't much resistance till 3. I wish I would have recorded it, honestly. I should have done that. But CLOV had a nice run. Just across the board, really good runs. So speaking of CLOV, we can just break down what it looks like. If you go back to last night's stream, I told you all that it was pretty much back testing this little neckline, this green line over here. It fell slightly under it, but I was like, it's still just pretty much back testing it, and it held. And you confirmed your back test today, and you also have a potential 3 rising valleys pattern. This is 3 consecutive higher lows, 2 higher highs, and this pattern would confirm if you broke above your high of the rally, which is around 330. If you break above 330, you have a confirmed breakout of a 3 rising valleys, which looks just like this. This is your 3 rising valleys, okay? So it's working on that. It's in the final wave. It just back tested a previous breakout, and you have 1 hour hidden bullish divergence. So keeping a close eye on CLOV still. On the 4 hour, you can see that back test is taking place, and on the daily, nothing really much has changed, but you can clearly see you're out of the wedge. And if you go back to any of my streams, and like really since like probably like January, this whole entire year, this wedge has been charted, and it finally broke out. NVIDIA on the daily, it's just kind of in this range between like 210 and 231. So keep an eye on NVIDIA tomorrow to see if it can break out of its range it's been in. You can see this. Let me make it look like this. You can see NVIDIA's just been trapped in this range for a week, just like the SPY. See if this can break above. I'm actually going to set an alert for tomorrow morning in case it does. So NVIDIA's testing the top of the range. This is a make or break area. It could be an area where one could play puts if it rejects a breakout, or if it breaks out, this could be an area where one plays calls. So I'll be looking at NVIDIA tomorrow morning on this end line. This resistance also lines up with highs back from September. But probably the move I'd look for, if it does break above like 231.5, 232, I'd probably look for a move maybe up to like 236 almost, which is your 200-day moving average. But I'd have to see what it looks like intraday. So that's NVIDIA. AMD was up 7%. This was another name I was watching this morning. I charted this wedge like probably somewhere in this region or right when it was breaking out. This one had a nice move, pretty much ran up to a resistance. So great moves. Another name is Apple. This one we were talking about how this was trying to, or was kind of breaking down from the 200-day moving average yesterday. Apple actually reclaimed the 200-day moving average today and is now still showing potential classic bullish divergence on the daily and on the 4 hour. And you could see, look at this. It was once a resistance over here, and a resistance over here has now become a support on Apple. So very big area for Apple. I brought this level up last night. I told you all to keep an eye on it, and it's bouncing off of it. It was up 3% today. DraftKings was another one. I think somebody asked me to take a look at this morning, and we did see that it was breaking out of this wedge like literally before it even broke out. So a lot of work was done. It was a pretty hectic morning, but fun nonetheless. So now let's go over the trades from today, the alerts. So for anybody who's in the premium trial, or if you're just a premium member, alerted 3 different ideas today. We're going to break them down one by one, and then tomorrow I'm probably not going to be learning anything in premium in the morning because I'm doing live trading with Keanu Trades. It's in the chat right now on Twitter, so that's where I'm going to be in the morning. So yeah, this is where we started. We started with Moderna calls. You know, I saw the market absolutely ripping, and Moderna actually was up 5% like towards the open. I think it gapped up. Moderna was up like 4 or 5%, and then it just started dropping and dropping and dropping. So I started taking a look at Moderna. I think somebody actually asked me to look at it, and it was one of my main focuses early in the day. I saw that it was creating this wedge and this hidden bullish divergence. You see a little bit clearer on the 5-minute, and this was probably the messiest alert from the day. I alerted this probably somewhere in this region, and it went down first, and it did actually fall a little bit more than 20% since my alert first, but I was updating like literally the whole entire day, so we can break that down really quickly and talk about how it did eventually work out. So I shared the initial charts, 10:45 a.m. I was watching this and this, and it just didn't really work out off the rip. So you can see I charted this like session low in the morning, and I said hope for this to hold, and unfortunately that eventually broke. Yeah, I said broke support for now. Sucks how it played out in like 1 minute and then did nothing. Still could be on watch for an eventual wedge breakout. So I didn't say mark, I never said I'm marking it right on the sheet or whatever like that. I was just saying still could eventually break out. And I forgot to even mention this. I alerted these Moderna calls at 10:44. At 10:45 they were 1 second. 10:44 I alerted them. At 10:45 they went up 20%, like literally in 1 minute. So it was like too quick. The initial like 20% was way too quick for me to just say, oh, this is a winning trade. However, for the people who were in the live feed, I was looking at this chart like nonstop for like 20 minutes prior to this alert. So I was like, all right, we just gotta wait for longer, I guess. And then I gave a bunch of updates. I said, you know, it's trying to reclaim the low of day now. I said approaching the supply line, it could take some time, but this is a big wedge for low time frames. I was just nonstop updating. And I even said Moderna's on breakout watch. And then it broke out, and then it ran. And then the calls went up, I think 30% since the entry on this high. So really nice move there. Still seeing how it does tomorrow. I think the big level for Moderna is 144 to 145. So that was the first one, probably like a little bit of a tougher one to trade. And then there were two much easier ones. Another one was QQ. All right, imagine this, okay? QQ was up 3% today, and it just pretty much ripped. But when did I alert puts? Literally right over here. At the first high of day for QQQ, which was the high of day until like 3 o'clock, until power hour, I alerted puts literally right over here. And why did I do that? I saw that it was retesting previous support and resistance, okay? And there's a couple other things. Let me pull it up really quickly. So again, I saw that I was retesting previous support and resistance. I saw this wedge. I think Cheddar Freeze also mentioned this in the Discord. I saw that the RSI was overbought, the MACD was losing momentum, and I just saw I was rejecting that area. It even had hidden bearish divergence on the 15 minutes. So I alerted QQQ puts, and during the only pullback of the day for the QQQ, which was this, those puts went up, I think, about 30%. And then I also did alert. I didn't really alert, but I shared in the chat, like right over here in these areas, like I showed you all earlier, that a cup and handle was developing. So then it ran again after breaking out of the cup and handle. And then the easiest one of the day, I mean, this one was just too easy. Literally, this is the analysis. At the high of day for CCL, I alerted puts, and you can see what happened. It fell like 4% on stock price. The puts went up about 50%, and that's literally it. Like, that was the trade. Right over here, the puts were alerted. I saw it was retesting resistance and previous support. It was at the upper Bollinger Band. And I think I looked at the Bollinger Band like the 15-minute. And yeah, it was very quick. I mean, literally all it did was just pull back and pull back until it hit a support. And I charted this support well before it even got there. Let's see if we could find it. Oh, here we go. This is CCL. I charted that support 1559. It literally just went from this resistance to support, consolidated, and then ran back up. So those were the trades today. Nice 3 for 3. And yeah, as of right now, you can get stuff like that. All of these, you know, the alerts I just showed you, not all of them are going to be winners. Swings, the weekly watch list, the trading tick spot. Technically, right now, you can get this for free by signing up for the trial, or you can get it for roughly about $1 a day. If you sign up before the prices raise on Monday. So the trial ends on Monday and the prices for premium will raise on Monday. Until then, you can join the trial and see what it's like, or you should, if you want to sign up, you should sign up before Monday so you can get locked in forever at a lower price. So that was the breakdown from today. And that's pretty much what I got. We can do ticker requests now. So if you want me to look at any stocks for you, drop it in the chat. And we'll do a few of those. And yeah. We already kind of looked at AMD, so that's already in the stream. But I can take a look at FUBO and all these. FUBO is just in a downsloping channel. It's pretty much diverging. You're making lower lows and your oscillators are making higher lows for the most part. It's another one at a make or break area. It's trying to hold its lows from January or February 24th, and it's just testing it close to a tweezer bottom formation today. Hopefully it holds it, but yeah, it's either this is your bottom or it's not. I know it sounds really stupid to say and like cliche, but like it's a make or break area. That's the only way to really look at it. ARKG, I mean, again, go watch the video and there's a free course links in the description. I made a video about harmonics. Go watch the video. It is absolutely insane that all of these charts just look like this, from the COVID crash low to where we are right now. And we're finally at PCZs for so many of these charts. So you've got a bullish bat here on the ARKG. ARKGnomic. Oh, there you go. I mean, very similar to the ARK ETF, ARKK. Technically, like a more technical area would be down at 35. That's closer to your 886, and it's also back testing previous resistance. So really, you know, anywhere in this general area, you're just looking for things like divergence and double bottoms and bullish engulfings and hammers, or just some sort of other confirmation apart from just a harmonic. But you also have a support there. Foot Locker. I mean, this is another one. It kind of gapped down over here where you see the M shape formation. I just look at levels on this one. That's really it. Those are like the big levels I see. And there's really not much to be done. I guess it kind of used to be in this consolidation range over here, and it just did the same exact thing if you just extend that to the right. So it just kind of bounced at that area. Pfizer had a very nice technical setup, hidden bullish divergence, a cipher, 200-day moving average, a channel, and it played out beautifully. It just filled this. I mean, look at like technicals, like look at this. Hit the PCZ of a cipher, had the 200-day moving average, hidden bullish divergence, all those bullish variables, and it ran and it ran. And where did it run until? It hit a gap fill level that I charted probably weeks ago. And again, this level right here, that was the high of day yesterday and today. I did not chart this yesterday or today. I charted this weeks ago. How did I randomly expect or predict weeks ago that you'd see some sort of resistance here? It was a gap fill level and a previous support, and your high of day from November 19th. So whenever your friends are like, oh, you look at TA, that's just astrology for men, show them this clip from my stream and ask them, oh, really? Is it? But yeah, there's a nice little resistance test. We'll see if it breaks above this resistance. Your next resistance is probably around 55 from these highs. If it can't break it, then your support's around 47.50. You guys recommend waiting until 9:30 to 10:30 to play options just to see how the trend looks? Well, 9:30 for me is the market open. I don't know what time zone you're in, but let's just talk in EST. I like waiting until 10 o'clock EST. I like just letting the first half an hour of the day just kind of go by. Because if you like literally start trading at 9:30, one, yeah, your options are going to take some time for them to settle. They're going to be a little bit wacky right at the open. But usually it only takes like a minute or two for them to start settling. But that's not really the thing. I just like to wait until there's data. Because if you're trading low time frames, trading at the open, you need at least 5 minutes of price action to get a 5-minute candle. So if you're trading like low time frames, you technically don't even really have low time frames until your first few 5-minute candles show up. So I like waiting for the first few. Unless like you have like some good news or bad news, so I could play either direction in the morning. Unless there's like some news or there was a setup like into the close the prior day or something like that, then maybe I'll trade around the open. But especially in this market where it's a lot more like flip-flopping, I like waiting for at least like half an hour. But it's up to you. BLU, just kind of in this upsloping channel, and it's kind of right in the middle of it. And a couple big levels are those. So those are your levels, that's your channel. PROG was up 7% today. This does have triple classic bullish divergence. I'm not going to chart it, but it's there on your MACD and on your RSI. And I don't know, I'd say this is your support area pretty clearly. And there's not much resistance to like 211. Those are your big levels. That's how I'd look at it. And RCAT was down 18% today after being up 50% almost yesterday. This was kind of your support. It was kind of like a weird shaped like extreme wedge in a sense. However you want to chart that. I mean, you could just look at it like this as well. Broke out, back tested it, now it's running. I'm sure there's some sort of catalyst. not much I could really do here at this point. It just started going crazy. It's going straight up, straight down. You know, these are the areas where I can like chart things out when they're consolidating. Now it's just kind of in the event stage. So yeah, I guess that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you for watching the stream. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Join the Discord so you can also see not just the trial, but for everything else in the Discord. Look at all this education. We have a lot more coming. I mean, these are just channels full of education over here. So many of the different things I talk about on stream. This is all free. All of this is free. Risk management, fundamentals, books, terms. Look at all these terms, indicators, divergence, harmonics, candlesticks. All this is completely free. The link for this is in the description. Start learning so you can change your life. Shout out to Lord Bogendoff for creating all these educational channels. We have paid bots that are completely free for you to use. We have news. We have a bunch of different games. We have flow from Tradie Ticks. All this is here. Go check it out. The link's in the description. And if you want to sign up for premium before the prices go from $40 a month to $50 a month on Monday, that link's in the description. And if you want to donate crypto to Ukraine, that's the first link at the top of the description. So have a good night. Thank you for watching the stream, and peace out.